Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to learn recursion in computer science or in the Java specific. So in the last video we cover all the basic of function, how we can create function, what is the return type in a function, and how function are used in our programming. And today we are going to learn one of the most important part of function. The topic name is recursion. So let's just start with our first heading. It says what is recursion. So in simple one, when function call itself in itself, it's called recursion. So the name suggests when function call itself, it's called recursion. So we have an fn function. In the fn function, if we are calling that fn function, then it is called the recursion. Let's see the Wikipedia first so that you can understand more. So here you can see that if I am reading, recursion is a method of solving a problem where the solution depends on solution to similar instance of the same problem. So what this line is saying, that recursion is a method for solving the problem where the solution depends. When the main function solution depends the smaller solution of that function only or that problem only. Here they define that function with the name of problem. Such problem can be generally solved by iteration, and most of recursion problem we can solve by iteration, but there are many problems which cannot or it take very long to very huge code or very high level code for do it into the iteration method rather than recursion. So recursion is very useful, and recursion solves such recursive problem by using function. So here you can see that our function name is in, and this is our main definition. Function that call themselves from within their own code, it's called recursion. Again I am repeating, function that calls in themselves from within their code, their own, it's called recursion. So what is recursion? I am again telling the function, if the function calling him itself, then it's called recursion. So let's just directly jump over to the problem so you can understand more. So here our first problem will be the finding the nth Fibonacci number. And what is Fibonacci number? So any Fibonacci number is given by sum of last two numbers, or rather we can say the Fibonacci number before that number. So I am writing definition because in recursion any problem we have to first understand the problem, then we are going to see that how we can write the recursion code or recursive function, and the process is called recursion. And if the function is calling itself, then that function will call recursive function. Then here we can see that any Fibonacci number, as we all know that, I hope you can know what is Fibonacci number. So if you don't know, I am telling you that any Fibonacci number is represented by the sum of two Fibonacci number before that number. So in example of the Fibonacci series, first two number are 0 and 1. Then the second we can say that here 0 based indexing will start. So 0th Fibonacci is 0, 1th is 1. Then our second Fibonacci will be 0 plus 1, it is 1. Then our third will be 1 plus 1, it is 2. Then our next Fibonacci number will be 2 plus 1, it is 3. And then we have 5, then we have 8, and likewise. So here you can see that if I want to find Fibonacci of 8, then I have to get first Fibonacci. Now let's just write index below them. So here I have 0th Fibonacci 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth and sixth. So if I want to find the sixth Fibonacci, so I have to sum Fibo of 4 plus Fibo of 5 for getting that Fibo of 6, and for Fibo of 4 I need to find Fibo of 3 and Fibo of 2 and Fibo of 5, and for Fibo of 5 I have to find Fibo of 4 plus Fibo of 3. So what I'm tell you, let's just write our function first. So function name will Fibonacci, nth, let's say nth Fibonacci number. And here we have to just write that n. So here we have to pass n. And one of the cool thing about that this ID, it will cannot reserve. It will automatically generate more action. I guess this feature I'm not available. So let's just create that our function. So in the last lecture I told you that just write static first, then our return time will be int only, and then we have to write that function name and that Fibonacci number. It will take one argument at int equal to n. Then what I'm telling you, if n is equal to 0, like our 0th Fibonacci number will be 0, so we have to return 0, and our first Fibonacci number will be 1. And what about n greater than 2? So we have to just return nth Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus nth Fibonacci of n plus n minus 2. So you can see that any Fibonacci number is given by the sum of their last two numbers. So here I am doing the same. Let's just run and see our output. So here for n, let's just first find that what is fifth Fibonacci number. System.out.println f, we are going to print our f. So let me just let's just run the function, then I will show you the all trace. Don't worry if you at this point you do not understand what why we write this code. And it's compiling, and it is here we get our output as 5. So here you can see that our fifth Fibonacci number is 5 only. If I am writing here 8, and what do you think, what is our output? Our output will be 21. What do you think? Our output is okay, 8 Fibonacci number with 21, right? Let's just write 6 here. So here also we write here our 8, so you do not confuse more. And here you can see that we get 8, and for that 21, next Fibonacci number will 5 plus 8. What is 5 plus 8? Quickly, 13. 8 plus 30, 13. What is 21? What is our 7th? 30. And what is our 8? 21. Just let's just run it. Right now we just run it. In this video we are going to just learn simple recursion. Then in the when we learn basic concept in algorithm, then we learn memoization and other stuff. But right now just understand the basic recursion. So here you can see that my nth Fibonacci number. Let me just change the function name so that there is not any confusion. Or let's just we have the nice name, not a problem any. We do not have any problem right now. Let me just small that u. So you can see that our nth Fibonacci number can be represented by last two sum. And here internally what happening, let's just see what is recursion tree. So basically recursion tree is a tree which defined our recursive function, how our recursive function is called. So here you can see that whenever I call here f is represented that Fibonacci only, so our function only, you can see that Fibonacci, and in our case it is nth Fibonacci. The name just it is just name, so you can assume that this is our Fibonacci function. And if I call Fibo f, then it will first call Fibo 4, and after complete this whole f of 4, then only our f of 3 will be called. What I'm telling here, first of all f of 4 will call, then f of 4 will call f of 3 and f of 2, and here f of 3 we call f of 2 and f of 1. Then in f of 2 it will call 1 and 0, and you can see that f of 1 and f of 0 are this condition, in f of 0 our function will return 0, and in f of 1 our function will return 1. So here we got 1 1, f of 2 will be 2, so here 2 will be the answer, plus f of 1 will be also 1, so 1, so f of 3 will be 3, and likewise all this function I'll call, and at then at f5 we got that fifth Fibonacci number. So let me just create that breakpoint here so that we can see what happening here, and at the end for printing we are not going to see. And let me just run this main function in the debugger mode. So yep, our debugger is start. So yeah, here let me just show you here. We are calling that function. Let's just go into the next step. In the next step our n will be, let's here for restarting, not return, we have to stop that debugger and rerun, because we are going, here we have f equal to 5 trees, so here also we are going to do same. Then go to next step. It should go into the function, which function is for right now. Let me just bigger. Here our nth Fibonacci 22 line function will call, and what is our argument? N equal to 5. So here both conditions are false, as you can see. Then I am going in, and then our two function I'll call, and clearly see what happened in the next step. Here my first function will be called, and I can, because either my n equal to 4 function will call, and this function it do not call right now. So here my n is 4, and here you can see in stack we have two function, and it do not show in n. Here you can see that. Then it again check that first two conditions, when n equal to 4, these two are false. So let me just go again. Then it will go to n equal to 3. So it will go to the function, then it will go n equal to 3, then again, and now it will go to n equal to 2, then again, and now our n equal to 1, f of 1, and or you can say nth Fibonacci 1 will call, and our second condition will be true, then it will return. And here why, if that function is finished, like you can in this stack, if I go back, so you can see that we have 5 function, and last function is f of 1. But when my this second condition is true, then my f of 1 function will be gone into the stack, removed from the stack. And now for that n equal to 3, for n equal to 2, I have f of 1, and now it will call that f of 0. So here it will call that f of 0. Let me just again, and you can see that our again for condition will f of 1 equal to true, then, and so in the same process all the function will be called, and at the end we get that f of n equal to 5. It will very long process. Let me just run, and in the output, hence in the output we get 5. So I hope you can understand what is recursion. And in a brief, recursion is just a process in which the function call itself, the not very fascinating thing, but just try to write your code in your own, and then just try to debug. You will understand by your own. And for writing any recursion function, just remember 3 things. Here I am writing, remember 3 things while writing recursive function. What are these things? First thing is base condition. Second is input arguments, and third thing is function work, or you can see that work, or you can also call that function description argument. Let me just change all the spelling. Foundation description. we do not require that function, we require C here. Then description, I guess it will suggest me right spelling, and here also I require C. So what are the three things we have to remember while writing any recursive function? One is base condition. In our function in a Fibonacci, these two are the base condition. Like if n equal to 0, then we return 0. Otherwise, if n equal to 1, then we are going to return 1. So these are our base condition where our function do not call itself, because somehow in recursion we have to stop our function calling. Otherwise we will get one error in Java or in the other language. That is error name is stack overflow, because function call itself right, and there is no end of calling this. How I can show you that? Let me just open my recorder, and here you can see that. Here you can see that infinite screen are here, like in this screen, another screen, another screen, another screen, and there is no stopping, nothing stop breaking condition here. Like you can see that there is infinite screen and my infinite cursor. So this is also example of any recursion function. So let's just back to our editor, and here these are our base conditions. What if you do not have any base condition? Let me just run you very fast, and just you can see that we get one running time exception. What this exception is called? Let me just why this happened. Let's just rerun. Here we get exception, and what is our exception? You can see that their function is calling itself so many times, and here at the top we get stack overflow error. So whenever you get stack overflow error, then just check your base condition if they are hit or not. So this is our base condition. And input argument. Input argument is one of the most important thing when you are writing recursion function. Also return time also matter, but you will understand what to return. But input argument, how many number of input argument you have, how many type of input argument have, it is very important. Then here for function description or work is defined by what you are doing here. But right now in Fibonacci we do not do, we are just calling that function. Okay, so these three are the main important things, and function description we will see in today's video. I am not sure, like, okay, if you want to see what is function description, like this is not any usual thing. I am just I will we will see in the next coming video what is function description, or let's just see in the last video. Here you can see that I am doing that sum equal to a for 0 plus b, so it is called function description. Or we can see that what our function will do. So some steps in the function which are doing before the recursive call or after the recursive call, it's called function work. So I hope I am able to convey the message, and then we are calling that function and it's called recursion. So I hope I gave much, like a very huge amount of time for this Fibonacci number, because it is very basic question and one of the most important question for understanding the recursion. And so here in the mathematics we can write f of n is equal to f of n will equal to a1, that the condition will be for, let me just write for 1 0 for n equal to 1 for n 0, and f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2 for otherwise. So this is our basic function, and the same we implemented here, and this same thing we can do, we can also do in iterative method. Let me just fast do that. Like what is our first Fibonacci number? A equal to 0. What is our zeroth Fibonacci number is 0 and 1 is 1. Then we are going to loop for int I equal to 2, because we have to find 2 less than equal to n. Like we have to find Fibonacci number, then we'll do n plus here. Let me just write 5, and here current let's just store temp equal to a. We are going to store, and our a will be a plus b, because our second Fibonacci number will be sum of last 2 and sum of last number of a and b. Then here I have to just cite the temp, because at then fib of 3, my a will become fib of 1, and a will become fib of 2, and b will become fib of 1. So here we are swapping. Let me just copy this line below. The command is control D, and here we have to write f. Let me just run. You can see that we get, oh, why we get different answer. I think I do any mistake here. Can you see any mistake in my code? Let's just find together, because fib of 5 is 5 only. Here you can see that 0 2, then we have 2 3 and 4. Yes, fib of 5 is 5 only, so our recursion function is totally fine. Here in iteration method we are doing some mistake. Let's just find together. So a is a plus b, then b is equal to temp. Temp is a okay, here we have to write 1 comma 0, because our a is pointing to current I, and our first Fibonacci is 1. So here you can see that we got 5 comma 5. So I am commenting this. You can see that our recursion code we write directly in iterative method, and this is simple as the formula I use only. But right now we are not focusing on how to optimize the recursion. So yeah, this is all about basic of recursion. Let's just write to another recursive function. For GCD, GCD is exercise for you. Let's say understand what is GCD, and if you want to, then head over to this page and you will understand. And here they also give that recursion function. Just write this function and see what we get in the output, because I think video is become more lengthy. So we are going to just see what is Fibonacci or what is factorial. So factorial of 5 is given by 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. So what is internally factorial of 5 is? Factorial of 5 is internally 5 multiplied by factorial of 4 is internally 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by factorial of 3 is internally represented by 5 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by factorial of 2 is internally represented by factorial of 4 3 2 multiplied by 1 factorial, and 1 factorial, as we all know that 1 factorial will be 1 only. 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. So this is our answer. So here you can see that we have sub problem as fn equals to -1, and our big square problem can be solved. Like here I have one formula here. So here nx factorial can be represented by multiplication by of all number include n and l till 1 is formula of f for factorial and 6 factorial. So how we can define our function like in this module. So f of n is equal to 0 1 for n less than equal to 1, or it can be represented by n multiplied by f of n minus 1 for otherwise. Let's just create our factorial function, and also we are going to see iterative method. For right now Fibonacci I am comment out. Let's just copy paste this code, because code is same only. And here nth factorial we are going to calculate factorial. Let me just change that factorial. What is having search command? Okay, we are known, we just factorial. And here if my n is less than equal to 1, then I have to return 1, otherwise I have to return n multiply by. Right now we do not see any time complexity in this part, because here our main aim to learn the concept or what is recursion, not the time complexity part. And Also here we are going to learn just Java only, so we are do not focus it on the DSA part, but in the collection framework part we will see all the things. Don't worry about that. So let me just print that our answer at n equal to nth factorial. Let's just first find factorial of 4, because in that example you do not have to calculate anything. Print ln f. Let me just run quick run. Okay, factorial of 4 or 24, and then factorial of 6. What should be our answer? Factorial of 6 will 720, and you can see that we got our, so this is ready, our factorial code. Let's just write iterative code very fast, because I think video is about 1 hour now. So let's just calculate. So here we have to find that factorial of 1. We know factorial of 1 is 1. We are going to go till n. Like here we have 6, so we are going to look 6, and any factorial of a equal to multiply a equal to I. That's it. Comment out. Let's just call for a. You can see that both iterative and the recursion part working fine. But now if you have one question, so for that, why then we require recursion if we are able to write all recursion function in iterative method? But this is not the case. Most of problems or most of real life problem also can solve by recursion only, because it's very hard to do it in the recursive iterative manner. So recursion is very useful, and I hope I'm able to convey that what is recursion to you. And here you can see if you are using this ID, then it also suggests that round arrow, it means there is a recursion call in this line. So yeah, this is it for this video, and we will see. And now in the next video I think we cover all the basic. We cover the data types, variable, loops, if else, then we cover function. So in the next video I think we are going to jump over our next part of this Java code, and that things is oops. I think oops will take only 3 to 5 lectures, and then our main aim is learning DSA or learning collection framework in Java. So we will learn that and we will start. So till this point, happy coding. And in this video your exercise only, like here I'm find GCD, and yeah, you good to go. And if you want code, then comment, I will give you also code, but do exercise and code by your own. So thank you for watching this video, and I will catch up in the next video. Till then, Shaba Khair, and tomorrow will be 2nd October, I guess, and today I will upload this video. So happy Gandhi Jayanti to all. Like I am an Indian and I have proud Gandhi ji or any other Indians freedom fighters. So happy Gandhi Jayanti to all, and we will start our oops in next video. So till then.